you guys about this, but I'm off until next week. But I definitely want to touch on this Ime Udoka situation. Just saw a year suspension was just handed down by the team for an inappropriate, consensual, sexual situation with a female that worked in the organization. I've been in the league played in the league for a long time. Anyone who played in the league could tell you this is a very common situation. This is not new news for people who've been in the league or even around organizations. I've seen it from owners to executives to coaches to players to trainers to therapists to dancers to PR ladies. Like, this is not. So last night I spoke on this Ime Udoka situation without having all the facts. And I think as a part of the media, often the media speaks to something, and when they're wrong, they won't come out and say it. And since I'm a part of the media now, and I try not to be like everyone else, I try to, report and talk with facts and honesty. And I clearly have to say last night, without knowing all the facts, I spoke on Ime Udoka's defense. And after finding out the facts after I spoke, I erased what I posted, because this situation in Boston is deep, it's messy, it's 100 times uglier than any of us thought. And that's why I erased what I said. Some things happened that I can't condone, I can't back, and it's not my place to tell you what happened. If it ends up coming out, it ends up coming out. But that was the reason why I erased my post last night, because after I posted it, I got a call from someone who had all the details, and the shit is deep. So, man, praying for everybody involved. Hope everyone gets through this. And I saw a lot of blogs picked up what I said, even though it was only on my page for like 2 minutes. So hopefully they pick this up too, for me being wrong and jumping out there without the facts. So that's where I'm gonna leave it. God bless.
Yo, so that was Matt Barnes. He kind of jumped out there in the first video when he went to the Ime's defense. And then I guess somebody called him up and told him what's really going on. Because even when I made my comments on the story, I was like, hold up, something else got to be out there. Okay, he cheated on his wife. He messed with somebody on the job, but that's a year suspension? Something else is lingering out there. I believe Ime Udoka actually leaked this story himself, and he went out himself and said this is consensual, so he could get ahead of the story of what's to come that'll eventually leak out. There's already people saying that it was someone's, it could have been the boss's wife, or, it was whatever this female was. She had already made complaints previously, and you hearing reports about, this has been going on since July. I'm like, well, the season was over in July. You know what I mean? They went to the finals. It was over in June, really. But it will come out eventually. But like Matt Barnes is saying, it's going to be 100 times worse than what people really, it's got to be bad. But I don't understand the whole suspension thing. If what he did was so terrible, why not just fire him? Just let him go. That's what Stephen A. Smith was saying, and a bunch of people was like, yo, let's fire the guy. Like, what's the point of suspending him? He's already been humiliated. He had to out himself and jump ahead of the story and say it was consensual, because he knew they were going to come out and say that it wasn't. So he said, okay, let me get ahead of the story and say that this was this, and before they say it was that. This is crazy. And I mean, Jaylen Brown is liking ridiculous tweets on Twitter. This whole thing is like a scandal. I mean, it'll be a good documentary maybe 5 years from now. Nia Long, everyone's like, poor Nia Long. She moved out to Boston like 2 weeks ago. Reports are saying she's devastated. It's crazy. You know what I mean? This is wild. But yeah, sometimes you jump the gate, you jump the fence defending somebody, and I wasn't really defending him necessarily like Matt Barnes did. I was just kind of like, hold up, 1 year for sleeping with a coworker? Like, that's where we at right now? I know people who are married that met each other on the job, like, and still work with each other, But Yeah, whatever this is, when it comes out, it's gonna be ugly, and Ime probably won't ever coach in basketball ever again, depending on what they're saying. The way Matt Barnes and a lot of these insiders that know the way that they're talking, you know what I mean? They're making it seem like he might get hit with some jail time or something. So yeah, this story is like a developing story. It's just little pieces are getting leaked out, and it's really messy on the Celtics' behalf because they won't even allow the girls a part of the organization, female assistant coaches, girls at the front office. They won't even allow them to disclose to the public that they're not involved. And people are getting on Twitter and going on Google, finding random pictures of women a part of the Celtics organization and saying that, oh, this must be the white girl he cheating on me along with. It must be her. It must be her. It's like, damn, like, they won't even let these girls come out to defend themselves because it's against the company HR policy. So like the Celtics are to blame too. This whole story is sloppy. The whole thing. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because they were gonna hire Steve Nash to be their head coach. They hired Ime Udoka because Jason Tatum wanted him. So he was a players coach. The players loved Ime. Now you got to start all over because they wasn't playing that hard for Brad Stevens. You know what I mean? So now, even with that talented roster that was 2 games away from a championship, they got to hit the reset button, basically. But a 1-year suspension, you already embarrassed this guy. He's already been humiliated. His life he probably is suspended without pay. His wife or fiance, whatever, near along is probably gonna bounce. She gonna leave him. You know what I mean? You might as well just fire him. You know what I mean? Let's take him out his misery already. But that was Matt Barnes, and apparently this Ime situation is gonna get worse and it's gonna keep going. So we'll keep y'all updated. Hit that thumbs up and hit the notifications.